I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Who you with, Kurt? I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On it. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. I'm in. 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 I'm in. Who you with, Kurt, dog? Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, dog. I'm Who You With, Kurt, dog. Want to welcome everyone to the show. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. You can live chat with us in the chat room. If you are following me on Facebook, hopefully they have the problem fixed. For some reason, Facebook is not doing live like it's supposed to tonight. I did put a post up, and hopefully y'all come on over to YouTube and watch on YouTube. You can have the same experience, just like you would on Facebook. Just come over to YouTube and watch the show, live chat with us with the show. As I'm actually trying to check and see if it's look like it's not broadcasting live on Facebook at all. So hopefully people head over to YouTube, because Facebook is having some issues tonight. So there you go. But tonight we're gonna talk about a couple of things tonight, and y'all can actually live chat with us in the chat room. What if it's something that we're currently talking about, or if it's something else you want to mention that I probably missed? You can always put it in the chat, and we could go from there. One of the things I want to be able to talk about, I didn't pay attention to it at first when the video came out of the domestic terrorist attack on Capitol Hill last week. Was the brother. The only thing myself and a lot of other people paid attention to was this brother was actually running away from the terrorists. And welcome to the show, Radio Chaos. As he was running away from the terrorists, that's all we seen. We seen him run up the stairs, but Officer Eugene Goodman had actually saved a lot of lives, because this could have came out a little bit different than what we actually thought it would have. And the reason why I say that, for the simple fact that on when he got up to the second floor, and the guy was right in front of him, and if you look at the pictures, you can see him look to the left of where he was. That door that was open was going into the Senate, into a Congress hall, where everybody was located, and it wasn't guarded. So he actually distracted the guy and was able to get him to follow him instead of going that way. And in one video, I actually seen where the guy looked toward that door.
and but instead he decided to follow Officer Eugene Goodman. So my hat goes off to him for thinking smart like that to keep them away from taking anybody hostage or whatever they was trying to do. So that's a good thing on that. Um, we have to give people their flowers while they're here. So for him to think smart like that and to prevent them from going in there, it could have turned out completely different than what it did before. So Officer Goodman, you did a great job. I'm sure many of people have told you that. Um, that's why my title tonight say an American real hero, real life hero. Um, Not a cocktail, but drinking a little bit of juice. So, cheers to you. But let me know how y'all feel about it because I really did not pay attention to that video and the photo. We just seen the guy running from them and trying to hold him back. Uh, exactly. Radio said he managed to do his job without shooting anybody. Exactly. I think if they would have went that way, they wouldn't have gave him no choice. I really feel like he would have protected the sentence that was in there at the time, and and by any means necessary. If they would have went that way, I feel like he would have laid his life down for them. Because when you're in a position like that, that's basically what you're signing up for. Unfortunately, a lot of policemen don't take the job serious enough. And and to be quite honest with you, I'm gonna be straight up honest. I don't know if I could have done what he done with that many people breaking in there, because I at this point, just like somebody break into my home, I'm gonna do what I have to do to protect my household. So, um, so that take a lot to be able to keep your composure and not react in a negative way. But that would have been rough to do if I were trying to do that. So that's why I say, um, Officer Eugene Goodman, I appreciate you for serving. And hopefully, the next administration that is coming in would do something special for you because you did save a lot of people's lives that day. Um, Unfortunately, with that being said, a story came out where at least two officers have actually been put on administration leave. Um, I believe I heard something about one of them is suspect. No, that's the chief that is suspecting to resign. Um, and they're investigating another 10 or 15 officers that probably was a part of it, which is not good at all. It's not good to have um, people take an oath and violate that oath by doing what they want to do for whatever reason. So that's gonna be something that we're gonna have to um, investigate for some time because this is not gonna end um, just after inauguration. It's gonna be more and more investigation. Burke County, Texas, which is San Antonio area, um, the one of the policemen, think it was the assistant chief police officer, he received on his personal social media a picture of one of his officers that was there. Now, this particular officer, she was already on administration leave for another incident that happened back in October. And because this incident happened, she went off to Washington to be a part of this chaos. No offense, chaos. To be a part of it. And now they're investigating it and trying to see if she was part of the crime. If she went into Capitol Hill and that police officer, the assistant chief, I believe that's who it was, he forwarded to the chief of police, and he also forwarded it to the FBI. So they are investigating it. And it's a possibility she could end up in jail too. So this is going to be something that is going to be looked at for a while. And not only that, of course, it came out today that the Democrats have introduced the article of impeachment against Trump. That came out today. And at the same time, the FBI put out a warning for the U.S., for every state capital. For all 50 state capital, they put out a warning that if President Trump is removed out of office and is not reelected, there have been threats of a possible attack on every state capital in the U.S. So, once again, we're still having to deal with this. This is not going to end no time soon. Here in Texas, it's in Austin. It's in Austin. Chaos asks, where's the Capitol building in Texas? Austin, Texas is our state capital, which is roughly about 2.5 hours from Dallas, where I'm located. So, this is crazy, but this is not good for America at all. This is going to be a stain on America for centuries, to be honest with you. For the simple fact, it's not good. It's not going to be, nothing is going to change the presidents, the results of the election. Nothing is going to change that. But some people feel like if you use violence, it will change. Yeah, I agree with you, Radio. Hopefully nothing happens. Well, that was just one warning. That was just one warning. That was the one that the FBI put out across the U.S., a possible armed protest at 50 state capital. The FBI say an armed group has threatened to travel to Washington and stage an uprising if Congress remove Trump from office. So they not only talking about armed protests and at every state capital, they're also talking about returning back to Washington on Inauguration Day and causing problems then. So, yeah, it's an issue. It's an issue that we as the people need to come together and say, you know what? We need to work together if we're going to really make America great. That's why I asked several times on the show before the election, we knew somebody was going to win. We knew someone was going to lose. But at the end of the day, after the election, we still have to live. We still have to work. We still have to provide for our family. And I asked the question, are you willing to die for your candidate if they didn't win, or if we know somebody gonna win, somebody gonna lose? Were you willing to die for them if your candidate did not win? Me personally, hell no, I'm not willing to die for them. For the simple fact, hell, I don't know Biden like that. I don't know Trump like that. Because at the end of the day, we know that's the reason why elections are put together in the first place. And that's the reason why we encourage people to get out and vote, to let your voice be heard, to basically to keep it fair, where it's not just somebody saying, oh yeah, we like you, we're going to make you president. No, the people have spoken. The people have spoken. And at this point, we need to come together and accept it. It's not going to change it. It's not going to change it. Because what's going to happen is maybe some more people lose their lives. And there's going to be more people going to prison. Because it's unnecessary to do these type of things. It's really really crazy. And to find out more and more information about some of the people that are that possibly be involved in it, it's crazy. Then it's also kind of scary, because we're finding out police officers involved. I seen a post earlier said that Fort Worth police put an ad out talking to my followers on Parler. Why would a police department be on a website like that? I'm just asking. So, I know we talked about the retired Air Force guy that actually his ex-wife turned him in. We talked about him last night. Well, kind of find out, the Army is investigating a captain who led a group of about 100 people to for the Trump rally. And this is out of I want to say, I have Charlotte down here, but they are investigating a psychological operation officer. She led about 100 people up to Washington, and her statement was she followed the rules. She followed the rules of yeah, I see some. I'm trying to. Okay, there it is. We'll just block them off. I love this new feature. I could just block and keep rolling. Um, um, so she led about a bus full of about 100 people down to Washington to be a part of that rally. And her statement was from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. She said that she followed the military rule, and nobody in her group did anything wrong. It was her personal time, and they did not break any laws. Captain Emily Rainey. So they are investigating it. She said I was a private citizen and doing nothing, wasn't doing anything uh, that was not within her rights. So, with that being said, here it is. We have military, active military, um, that is involved with this chaos that happened last week, this domestic terrorist. So, with that being said, you know, when you have people in military, that's really scary because they have access to stuff. We don't know who they know or anything like that. So that could be a very scary situation because now you're an active member of the service, but you know the oath, you're in the military, which is basically to protect America. But you're doing a domestic terrorist attack on America. The same reason why you took that oath, now you're going against it. It just, it's not looking good. So, there have been threats coming out that here locally, they are asking, one particular city is saying that they're going to provide more security for the schools because there have been threats came out saying that talking about kidnapping kids on inauguration day. Now, this is a letter that came out from Fort Worth Police Department. I believe the school is actually, I think it was down in Burlington or something, which is south of Fort Worth, which is part of, I guess that could be Tarrant County or Johnson County, but it's right there together. And a police report came out saying that there have been threats. So, um, I just want to know your thoughts about it. How did you feel about this? Because me personally, I just feel like it's wrong. Because here it is, we're supposed to be the free land, but it's not free. Uh, yeah, I feel you. It is. It is. It really is. Um, it's crazy how this is going. Um, then on top of that, a lot of people, I don't know. It people have to realize we're still in a pandemic. We're still in a pandemic. Every night, look at the news. Dallas County, Tarrant County had broke a new record high. I think that a night between the two counties, we had almost 5,000 new cases in one day between Dallas and Tarrant County. That's not including the state of Texas. But going to the rallies is only going to make it worse. See, that's the cases coming up from Christmas when people hung out, um, just doing everything. Kind of like I seen a video, I guess it was New Year's or something. A club here had a concert here, pack. And I'm like, wow. That's not good. But some people just think, just feel like this virus is not real. Matter of fact, I seen a story earlier. This happened in Dallas also. A young lady and her father felt like um, felt like the virus wasn't real, but she recanted her story. She's like, hey, um, she's like, hey, um, I know it's real because I lost my father to it. So now they realizing it's real. Don't wait until you lose someone close to you. I've known several people who have actually got the virus. They survive. I know many of people who have lost friends and loved ones that did not survive. I have a couple of friends now that I know that is dealing with it today. And the only thing I could do is uh, send in a message. Hey, how are you feeling? Is you need anything? If you need something, um, I would come put it on your doorstep. If you need some food, they cannot even eat. I was talking with the well, not talking with them, but texting them, and I'm like, hey, you need to try to eat something. They told me if I try to eat a cracker, it upset my stomach. And I know there's been at least 3 days that they haven't ate anything. If they think about food, they get upset. The stomach get upset. But people don't realize the the situation that people go through when they get this virus. So um, it's definitely I'm sorry, they sending me message trying to see if it's working on Facebook. I'm like, no, it's not working. um, so they are working on it on the back end, but people have to realize this virus is very serious. It's not a game. It's not. Wear the mask. Wear the mask. I seen where somebody put on social media about they um no, I actually seen this. I was at a little convenience store and the employee asked a customer to put a mask on. They told them they didn't have to wear a mask. And if they wanted them to wear a mask, they would come up there and boycott that business. But I think some people kind of mess it up a little bit because you got to realize if you are in a private business, um, your your free speech is out the door because every business have a choice. They can refuse service. They can tell you to leave their business and you don't have a choice. And if God forbid, if that's the only place that you could get whatever you need close by your home or your work or whatever it may be, you need to cooperate with them. Don't go in there and acting a fool with them and causing a scene. It's not worth it. Because here it is, they are risking their lives. They are the first responders that we don't hear about because they are in these retail places and they risking their life to come serve you for you can come and get your needs. Whatever your needs may be, they there to help you. Other than that, people got to realize um, if stores shut down, we will stop. American would stop. Just like if truck drivers stop working, American would shut down. Everything we use comes on a truck. I won't even just say America. I would say the world was shut down if trucking stopped. Because if it wasn't for them, we couldn't get all this stuff that we have. Everything that I'm using tonight came on a truck some way, somehow. It had to come on a truck at some point. Um, the food, the juice I'm drinking, whatever it is, came on a truck. And we have to realize that when these people are out here working, don't go in there be disrespecting them. Treat them with respect. Treat them with respect. And they may have some bad days, but long as they not being disrespectful to you, it's not worth it. Go in there and follow their rules. You going into their business. That's like going into their home. You go to somebody's home, you're not gonna go in there and put your feet up on the table and tell them, "Oh, I'm here. I'm gonna put my feet up on the table with my shoes on, and ain't nothing you can say or do about it." Well, that's not the right thing to do. So it's definitely um, we have to work together. We have to. Um, trying to. Okay. Yeah. For some odd reason, Facebook is not working. Um, but I did put a post. If you came over from Facebook and if you are on YouTube or Twitter, you can actually chat live with us in the chat room or Periscope or even D Live or Twitch. You can actually chat live with us, let us know that you here. Where you from? If it's something you wanna talk about, you're more than welcome to chime in. Um, Tonight we showing love to Officer Eugene Goodman for taking a stand, saving the lives of the Senates that was in the Capitol Hill at the time, because it could have been much worse if he made the wrong turn or if he did not distract them. It could have been extremely worse than what it was. Um, so my hat goes off to him for doing what he have to do. Um, and that's pretty much it. So I know it's a little bit strange tonight not having Facebook on here, and I don't know. There's a lot of changes coming up with, and we're working on some stuff. Cause I have no idea what's going on with it. I seen some other people saying they was going live, but unfortunately, I never could find a post, and I started looking into it, and I'm like, wait a minute, my alerts did not come out. Um, so I contact the company I use, and they like, oh yeah, we're getting a lot of reports about that right now. So it's something with Facebook. Um, Radio said can't get Biden into office fast enough and get rid of reality show clown. Yes, it's gonna happen. I read something, briefly looked at it, where they were saying they may not be able to get him on the 25th amendment, but I think they're looking at the 14th. And if I'm not mistaken, they also looking at that one for Ted Cruz too. And another thing, um, from my understanding, the New York Bar Association is going after Rudy also, Giuliani. They want to get him disbarred. They said they haven't done that, I think, since either 1904 or 1906, something like that. But they're looking at yanking his license after that chaos last week. After that, I'm gonna stop saying chaos after that terrorist attack last week. So, um, so they looking at making some changes on that, and they're also going to be looking at criminal charges for him. And they're also saying that's possible. Um, could be a criminal charge for Trump also for inciting the riot. So at this point, it's not too much anybody can really do. Um, at this point, I would tell people, hey, don't go down on a sinking ship because um, it's not looking good. I think Trump wanted him and Juliana to do it, but I think since Juliana's license are being held up, he won't be able to do it. So it may just be him. And another thing, I wanted to kind of throw this out here because um, get y'all opinion on it because uh, Trump did say he wasn't going to the inauguration. And because he said that, do you think it was a dog whistle to let people know, hey, I'm not going to be there? Um, I'm not going to be there. Um, so y'all can do whatever you want to. And that's what I've been hearing going around since the threats have came out. So they're like, hey, did he just send out a dog whistle saying, I'm not going to the inauguration, giving them the okay to do whatever they wanted to do? Um, so that's just a question that I have. Do you think it was a dog whistle? Um, I personally, yeah, I feel like it is in a sense. I feel like it is a dog whistle to let people know it's okay. Whatever you want to do, I'm not there. You can do it. Uh, yeah, but I I feel the same way. I feel like he wouldn't be there either way. He wouldn't have stayed there. Even if he went 2 terms, he would not have stayed there. He would have left. And then on top of that, um, Trump, I I I don't know. He's a special type of guy. I don't agree with nothing he say or do. But yeah, I think that would have been pretty jacked up for him to I could just imagine the look would have been on his face if he would have had to sit there and watch it. But I also feel like I said last night, I feel like what's probably going to happen, kind of like what I said before, and Risky said, I think January the 20th, um, Trump may get laid out in cuffs. I think it's a pretty good chance it's probably going to happen. especially after what happened last week. Just now, they cannot do anything as long as he in office. But as soon as he get out of office, it's kind of like going duck hunting. Um, it's no protection there. So basically, he get out of office. Hey, we're gonna do what we have to do. And I think January 20th, 12 noon, we will see some things happen. Other than that, are they planning on? I don't know what they planning on doing, but is it a chance that they're gonna make a plan to try to get him out, take him underground where he could get out? I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He'll leave, um, but I really feel that with Trump, they need to watch his every move. They need to watch his every move. For the simple fact, it's not good for him. It's not good for American people because it make us look weak as a country. Um, with what happened last week, I can see more. It's more people trying to attack us, and if any of those officers did um, help them by letting them in, not trying to stop them, hey, you're just as guilty. That's why they say they're investigating another 10 or 15 officers. And then, like I mentioned last night, that longtime veteran office that committed suicide. They're still investigating that. So it's going to be a lot of stuff to come out of that. And I just hope people come to their senses and say, you know what, enough is enough. We don't have to do this. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because what's going to happen? Um, More people probably going to lose their lives. Um, More people going to go to jail if they do everything they're trying to do. And then on top of that, um, it's just not going to be right. The ones that's going to be hurt the worst is the families that are going to have to deal with the aftermath. Um, Obama conducted himself with class when Trump won, even though he didn't like him. That's what real leaders do. Exactly. President Obama, he could have made the choice. You know what? I don't want to sit down with him, but he sat down with him, gave him information. Matter of fact, him and First Lady Michelle both greeted Trump and Melania to the White House with class. Um, Trump and didn't want to meet with the Bidens. Didn't want to have anything to do with them. So that tells you a lot. I'm like, hey, I if it was me in that position, yeah, I probably lost this one, but I could come back in 4 years and fight again. There have been, yeah, excuse me, that was good. Um, there have been many of people that lost the election, but they kept coming back and raise your hand coming up. Kept coming back and um, running again. Who was it? I think how many times did John McCain run for election? Um, Hold on. They just sent me a message saying it's working now. Um, I don't know how because I don't see it on Facebook. Um, so I guess it's not working. They feel like it's working on their end, but hopefully it connects and um, uh, I don't know. They keep sending me messages saying it's working, and I don't see none of it on Facebook. So hopefully it connects and then it start back working and go from there. Um, I'm gonna tell people join us on YouTube. Um, so um, so that's just tells you about a leader. I'm like this. I've won some things. I lost some things, and I'm not. I don't get excited about a whole bunch of things. So never vote for somebody that drink a case of Diet Coke a day. Boy, those kidneys got to be bad. That's all I'm gonna say. It got to be bad, and he may be taking dialysis in the White House because uh, drinking those sodas not good for you. But everything they put in those sodas is not good at all. Um, so that can't be good. I'm like this. If and I've said it before, if Trump would have came in, left everything in place like President Obama had it, he probably would have gotten 2 terms. I still wouldn't have voted for him, but he probably would have gotten 2 terms. But at the same time, he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to come in and go behind President Obama to do those things. Uh, Even today, our governor, Greg Abbott, he talked about um, people taking down free speech and social media and put out a statement today about that. You're concerned about that instead of being concerned about how the numbers continue to go up in Texas for the coronavirus, and you're concerned about them taking Pollard down or uh, kicking Trump off of social media. You're more concerned about that than concerned about the safety of the people of Texas. Okay, um, he didn't have a mental capacity to do the job, so he covered that up, acting like a jackass. Yeah, he did. I don't know if you can see some of your words don't come up. I'm just filling them in because I know exactly what you're saying. um, but yeah, so that's what he did. He came in, had a hard on for President Obama, and he really did not want to do anything behind him because once again, he talked about President Obama, um, uh, where he was born at, said he wasn't really American, even though he was born in Hawaii, and talking about the birth certificate was fake, and then even that uh talked about the fact that he ended up um said the birth certificate was fake, which it wasn't. He talked about he had all this evidence, which he didn't. And he kept telling the reporters, "Oh, I have all these evidence and people willing to tell this and tell that." But he never brought it forward. That's the same thing he did with Hillary. The emails. Lock her up. Lock her up. Never did all of that. Then he talked about Mexico was going to pay for the wall. Mexico president said, "The hell we are. We ain't paying for that wall," and they didn't. So Trump is just basically he's a big bully. Mary Trump said it the best. President Trump have some mental issue that need to be addressed, and if he need a counselor, I I could let him talk to one of the counselors that come on the show because they're good. They are good, but at the same time, you have to be honest with them. You can't come in there be lying to the counselor and expect America to happen. It's not gonna happen. You got to be honest with them. So this next week and probably even the next couple of months is going to be very interesting with what happened. He wanted Obama to publish his college transcript. Yeah, he did. Offered to donate $1 million to charity if he did. Where was he going to get the million from? I'm just asking because he owes somebody $1 billion and he talking about $1 million. Hey, I'm just asking. But I don't know. Some people they get to the point where when they bark loud, people would listen and think because they are barking loud, they're telling the truth. But I think if a lot of these people just sit back and just think about everything Trump have said over the years, I think they would realize it. And I think a lot of people did realize it for this last election because a lot of people came out and said they was not going to vote for him this time. And they didn't. Because of the way that he handled the pandemic, the way that he lied to us, and it probably pissed a lot of them off because when it came out that he only paid $750 in taxes in the last decade, that's a lot. So, that's a lot because it's some people that they're probably trying to pay tax debt today. They've probably been paying on it for a long time. And then you have a leader that's not paying anything. And that'll piss a lot of folks off. Um, da, da, da. Said as Trump exit, Trump has new reason to fear possible prosecution. Yeah, I would be nervous. I would be nervous. And I would tell everybody this too. Like I say all the time on the show. Each one of these leaders, if they are from your state and they're still sticking by Trump, you need to get up and vote them out when they time come. We need to vote them out and make sure your voice is heard. Every election, just like it happened in November, even the one that happened in Atlanta last week, every election need to be packed just like that. Because that would send a message to Washington to let them know we're not going for the old banana in a tailpipe none more. When you come and ask for our votes, you also need to come with a plan for what are you going to do for my community. Don't just come out of here when it benefits you. I want to see you in the community all the time. Um, Radio said the Republican knew what a disaster he was, but they put party over common sense. Unfortunately, common sense is not all that common. A lot of people do that. They look at, oh, this person talk a good game. They must be telling the truth. This person is on TV, a reality star, and and I'm gonna use that very loosely because what a lot of people don't realize, a lot of these reality shows, they are scripted. They'll make it seem like everything is peaches and cream and paradise, but the reality of it, that's just for TV. You have to know the you have to be able to identify what's real and what's not real. Why you think a lot of people that do these reality shows that are married when they get into it, then all of a sudden the show go off, they end up getting a divorce. Um, so basically, it's majority of them are fake. Yeah, I agree. Uh, I actually pulled away from a lot of them. My wife, she watched some, and just so happened I watched some with her, but I don't spend that much time with them because a lot of time I'm doing a lot of research on shows and stuff, so I don't have a lot of time. But what I will do, because that's something that my wife and I started when we first got together, so I have to spend time with her um, for for us to spend some type of quality time together, especially now because going to the movies is like playing Russian roulette. So we will sit down and watch a show that we both may like, and watch it and go from there. But a lot of these reality shows are not doing that good right now because it's and the views are down on them. So, and I think it ran its course. They had a good course they ran, but I think they're gonna start coming up with some more uh, different type of shows to do. But then again, a lot of people love drama. I was telling someone yesterday, I said, even with the podcast, um, I'm not into all that drama stuff. That's kind of like when Jada had that entanglement. Um, I had nothing to say about it. That's their marriage. That have nothing to do with me. And I didn't. Hell, it wasn't with me, so I didn't care. Uh, so I'm like, hey, that's their life. It don't have anything to do with me, and that's why we don't talk about drama like that on the show because we don't know what can happen. You can say something that can actually push somebody over the edge when it's dealing with somebody' personal life. That could be bad. Radio said Trump had total control over how he was portrayed on this show. Yes, he did. Couldn't do that when he became president. Well, I think the way that he was portrayed on the show, they probably cut a lot of stuff out. But mentally, he didn't know how to switch between reality and real. He wanted to run America like a reality show, but you can't do that. That's why when he talked about he gonna go in and clean the swamp, but he had so many people in his administration from the time he got into office up until now that have either quit or was terminated by him. As a matter of fact, he wanted to get rid of uh, I want to say the director of national security or FBI or something, wanted to get rid of them last month, but he was advised not to because he already got rid of one, and this guy's on a contract, I think guaranteed for 4 or 5 years or something. So, and they advised him not to touch him. He was on a guaranteed contract. It wouldn't look good. Then they also said with the FBI, you don't want to fool with them because um, they know more information about you than what you think they know. So um, I think Trump just didn't know how to separate the two. You have to know how to separate the two. Kind of like uh, with me. If I'm interviewing somebody or if I'm have someone a guest on the show, I cannot come on here and be like I normally would be. I do warn them, so I always tell them up front. Sometimes we have some trolls come on, and it can get a little ugly. So, and they like okay, um, which is cool. Which we're gonna have some great guests come on here in the near future, um, which is always good. Um, what did a funk actually do during these past 4 years? I can't figure it out even now. Besides wearing a jacket down to Laredo, um, I couldn't tell you because most first ladies they would at least um, have a go out and do charity event. Well, I guess she did visit the hospital a couple of times, but I nothing really stand out to what she done and what past first ladies have done. So I couldn't even tell you. I did see a story about her earlier about the fact that I guess she had to testify, and she mentioned that she was disappointed. I'm trying to find the story because I didn't write that one down, but she was disappointed about the way that Trump supporters um, did that last week. It says she was offended by it. Now, I don't know what's true. Um, if she was actually offended by it or not. Then again, it could be a all about trying to get likes, distraction. So um, and then she got a lot of backlash from it too. She did get backlash from it because people was upset because of what she actually said. And I'm like, hey, she's entitled to her feelings. Um, she actually said, oh, in a written statement that somebody wrote for her, um, that she said her heart goes out to the 6 people who have died since the attack, including 2 Capitol police officers. I'm disappointed and disheartened with what happened last week. I find it shameful And surrounding these tragic events, there has been salacious gospel, unwarranted personal attack, and false misleading accusations on me from people who are looking to be relevant and have an agenda. She said, this time is solely about healing our country, its citizen. It should not be used for personal gain. I absolutely condemned the violence that unfolded at the Capitol and said that she implores people to never make assumptions based on the color of a person's skin or use different politicians as a bias of aggression is. Yeah, that's going to be 2 minutes. I won't be able to get back because that was a well written speech from somebody. Uh, so I'm just saying she don't condone violence. That word been coming up quite a bit lately in this last week. Seemed like everybody who actually took part in that terrorist attack. I won't say everybody. Some people who took part in that terrorist attack talk about they don't condone violence. But you went to an event that you knew how it was going to be. You knew what type of event you was going to, but you don't condone violence. Well, with First Lady Trump, she had firsthand knowledge of what type of husband she's married to. And because of that, she know what that man is capable of doing. She know what he planned on doing. And he did exactly what he wanted to happen. Not only him, but also his family. For the simple fact that they are those type of people. If they don't get their way, they're going to do whatever they can to make it hard for anybody else. And that's basically what happened. So, him, Eric Trump, Rudy Giuliani, they encouraged those people to march down to the Capitol, to Capitol Hill, and make them stop the vote. But the problem is, even with them stopping it, it wasn't going to do no justice because the vote was still going to be certified. And they still certified it that night. They probably delayed it, but it was still going to be certified. It was going to be certified. And I'm sure they had other copies and probably digital copies of the certification of it, just in case something like this happened. But hey, some people will try anything. They will listen to anything. But Trump is one of those type of people. He would encourage people to do his dirty work. He won't get out there and fight with you. That's why we say he's a dictator, because he would tell people what he wants and expect for them to do it for him. Her husband Jared. Oh, you asked about Ivanka. I'm thinking Melania Trump. Ivanka, I don't know. I think she just, well, besides I'm getting my Trumps mixed up. Besides overcharging the hotel over $1 million for for the inauguration party in 2016. That's all I could think of what she done. But anything else, I couldn't tell you. She was getting the check, and probably was getting paid more than anybody else in that position. I don't know. Or got a raise up to it, a bonus or something. I don't know. Um, then her husband Jared must be depressed. He's not have access to classified information anymore. Must have helped their business venture. Well, he never should have had it in the first place because he lied to get a clearance to come into the White House. So, with that being said, I don't. Mm, I'm gonna just sit back and wait because it's gonna be interesting. Next week is gonna be interesting. Um, I'm gonna just say look out for the time because um, depends on what happened. I may go live early because if with the threats coming out, if anything jump off, I will go live. I will do the show early that day if need to be. Um, but other than that, I will be watching the inauguration. I may have uh, my TV, uh, have it on in here for I can watch it. Um, in case something happened, I could give you first-hand knowledge of what's going on. But it's crazy. I think it's really crazy to try to overturn a government. Um, I think it really is. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. This next week, this next um, determine on what happened next week. Um, the next couple of months is going to be very interesting. I just don't want this craziness come up here to Canada. This can't happen anywhere. Exactly. Like I tell you, if the fire get too hot for my wife and I will be up in Canada, you're gonna hear it knock at your door. Hey, chaos, I'm here. We here. We ready to rock and roll, man. Um, but no, I think it'll be okay. Um, I'm hoping these just idle threats, and they're not gonna try to go into it, but it is something to think about. It is definitely something to take serious, especially after what just happened last week. Hopefully, a lot of these people have realized because the thing is, um, well, we had rain and snow here yesterday, so uh, I could deal with rain. I could deal with snow. Um, I could deal with the heat too, long as I'm not. I could deal with majority of the heat. Up there, it shouldn't be that bad because y'all have a lot of water near it. Well, it may be kind of bad, kind of steamy. It may be kind of like how it is in Houston in the summertime when they get real steamy and stuff. But other than that, I can make adjustments. Um, but I'm sure it's pretty cool up there. I always said I wanted to. I used to go up to Tacoma, Washington when I drove trucks. Go up there all the time, and sometimes I see the guys on the side of the road out there uh, fly fishing, and I'm like, man, that gotta be cool. And a couple of places where I was either picking up it or dropping off it while I was waiting to get unloaded. Um, yeah, I'd be like, hey, you had your fishing pole in the truck? I'm like, no. He's like, it's 5 o'clock. Those salmon swimming upstream. It's the best time to fish. And I'm like, man, yeah, okay. And I always say I would come back up there, but driving trucks, you never know where you're gonna be. I was one of those drivers where I would actually, uh, I went from point A to point B. I didn't believe in stopping, hanging out. I'm trying to keep the wheels moving, get this load off, get my nets moving, so I can keep on making money. Um, because when you have to sit somewhere for a day or two, you end up spending more money than what you would if you just passing through. So, um, yeah, I figure it was real humid there, just like in Houston. Um, when I used to deliver in Houston, um, at convenience stores at Family Dollars back in the days, and it was interesting. Um, First stop, you start at 6 a.m. in the morning, and we hand unload everything on the back of that truck. So that was interesting, and it was some hard work, but it kept you in shape. But 6 o'clock in the morning, it could be down there maybe 70, 75 degrees in the morning at 6. But in the back of that trailer, it feel like it's 85, 90 degrees. So by the time I got finished unloading that truck, my shirt, I could pull it off and squeeze sweat out of it because you have to drink plenty of water while you're back there. And some stores, they go a little bit slow. So you back there longer than what you intend on being back there. And I'm like, man, I did not like that at all. If I went to a slow store, I'm always about, hey, let's get it. 6 o'clock, let's roll, get it off, get up out of there. Um, I've been in Houston again, only in the airport. That's all I've seen of Texas. Well, man, you need to make a trip down here and just come hang out. Come hang out, see other parts of Texas. Uh, I guess I don't know. These guys, they tripping. I told them I was live, and now they talking about, oh, we haven't got a message from you in a while. I don't know. But yeah, you need to come down here and just hang out. Um, I would say spend a week, but you may depends on what all you like to do. Um, what's going on, Gabe? Haven't seen you since before the election. I believe you down in Houston, right? If I'm not mistaken, I believe you down in Houston. Been a while since you've been on. Um, I want to say I had the right person. But yeah, if you come to Texas, depends on what you like to do, where you would like to go and see. Um, that's where I thought you was in Houston. Welcome back to the show. Happy New Year's to you. Know it's my first time seeing you since the New Year's. Hopefully, you had a great Thanksgiving, Christmas, and your New Year is going good so far. So, um, yeah, radio, whatever you like to do or see in Texas, um, you can always let me know and I kind of pinpoint you some things and go from there. Um, Dallas is cool. Right now, we just on lockdown. Yeah, well, we're not on lockdown, but with the pandemic, you can't get the full effect of it. But it's a lot of cool things in Dallas to do. We have a place called Deep Ellum. That's where a lot of local artists go to play their music. We have a lot of good places like that. Down in Deep Ellum, you may have, um, shoot, there's so many bars down there, and each one may have a live band in there, and there's different type of food down there. So it's a nice little spot to hang out. Um, I don't know about the scenery right now, but Dallas, you can see a lot of stuff. You only, what, 3 hours from Houston. So if you wanted to go to Houston, you can always do it. Gabe said he been taking a break from all the chaotic things going on. Um, yeah, it been a lot going on, Gabe. So glad you decided to join us this year, and um, so I'm definitely glad you decided to join us and be able to be a part of the show. So um, and definitely come back because we're making changes this year. As always, everybody is welcome here. The only thing we ask that you be respectful, and as long as you are respectful, you're more than welcome to be here and be a part of the show. Um, because during these times with the pandemic, this is where we should be coming together and trying to beat this thing. Instead, we it's getting worse. Hate to say that we're in our last days, but as long as this pandemic continue to get worse, that's what it looked like. Um, so unfortunately, hopefully you and your family are staying safe. Um, I know my family and I, that's what we're doing. Um, During Thanksgiving and Christmas, couldn't do the things we normally would do. Had to make adjustments. And it's okay to make changes in your life if it's going to save your life. So that's that's the way we are trying to deal with it. I know Houston have been really crazy down there. I know y'all have uh, got a lot of vaccine down in Houston, and hopefully the people are getting served properly. Uh, yeah, we got to wrap up the vaccine distribution because it's definitely it's gonna take a lot for everybody to get a vaccine. Um, so it's definitely gonna take a lot to be able to beat this. And from my understanding, they're getting ready to. I know in Dallas County, and I don't know if it already opened up. Um, I think it's like over 100,000 people on a waiting list for it. Um, so that's a lot of people. Over 100,000 people on the waiting list, which is crazy within itself. So, but we have to do what we can do to protect ourselves and make sure if we have to take it, we have to. I know people ask me would I take it. I feel like eventually I will. Um, Eventually I will, and a lot of time it may be. Um, that's what I'm thinking too. Probably until September, because the thing is, we have our first responders, which definitely need to take it. They're on the front line. Then um, we have uh, people with medical issues that need to take it, that are at high risk. They have to take it. So right now, um, I think someone like myself, I think I'm okay, but I do everything I have to do to protect myself. Wear my mask, make sure I'm washing my hands. If I go to the grocery store, um, wipe the baskets down before I go in there and before I touch it actually, because most of the stores here they either have some spray with some paper towels there or some wipes, and I'll take them and I'll wipe them down and try to be active, because that's another thing. If you're not active, um, it can take control of over your body. From my understanding, I'm not in the medical field, but from some of the reports I've heard, um, you need to get up and be active. Yeah, and working out is good for your immune system. Um, and I'm looking in the monitor, and I think I have a crush on myself, because I can see in the monitor just looking at my shoulders, how much weight I have lost. So um, I will be getting scaled this week, and I know for sure exactly how much weight I have lost. But I feel good. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I feel good. I feel like my energy level is up. Um, Now, the one thing I don't like, because this happened before, when I lost a lot of weight, had to go out and go shopping. And they get very expensive. Uh, so, but the reality, I have lost a lot of weight. I can tell, um, and it's a good thing. I feel good. I'm just trying to stay active and do what I have to do. Um, Long walks are good, which I will be doing that pretty soon. See, I um, started off with, at the beginning, I would go bike riding about 3 or 4 times a week, and that was good. I enjoyed that, um, and I got up to, one day. My friend and I, we did. I think we did over 10 miles on a bike in the city, and you talking about, we was no good once we got finished. I was like, man, look, that's good. I'm good. But we will push ourselves like that. And that was a pretty good ride, over 10 miles. And you're talking about when I was at like 350 or so, and riding on a bike 10 miles, that's a lot. Um, So what I started to do at first was ride bikes, and started to pay attention to my times on the bike, how many calories I was burning, change my diet. That's one of the best things I've done, was change my diet. I started to eat vegan food. I'm not vegan, but I will incorporate meatless, uh, vegan meat into, vegan crumbles into my food. Like if I do spaghettis or something that would normally call for ground beef, I would use vegan crumbles. You cannot tell the difference in the taste, but you could tell the difference once you eat, though. And the reason why, because how normally you would get full and be miserable after you eat, you like, oh man, I don't know. I'm just stuffed. I'm miserable. But eating that vegan crumble, you get full, but you're not miserable with it. So you could tell the difference in it. Matter of fact, yesterday I did some, my version of vegan chili, um, which I put, of course, bell peppers, onions in it. Um, then I also used the, vegan crumbles for it. Um, put tomatoes, some bunch of tomatoes in it, some black beans. Um, the recipe I followed would call for pinto beans, and then I did like a little. I know corn is hard to digest, but I put a little bit of corn in it, like a corn mix that had like different vegetables in it, and it was actually pretty good. It wasn't heavy on you, and you could tell the difference as you eat it and once you get full. So that's always good. And now I pretty much one side, if I'm eating something regardless of what it is, once I start feeling full, I stop. And once you start training your mind like that, everything else will be good. Um, because we have a habit of overeating. I don't do that. I do eat snacks, and when I say snacks, it may be fruits, or something. I eat a lot more salads than what I have in the past, and it's all because trying to keep everything balanced. So, uh, and also, some people been telling me I should try sea moss. So I have a cousin of mine that does sea moss, and they're gonna be getting something to me hopefully this week, and I'll go from there. Um, Said I've been lucky. I can eat what I want and not gain weight. Well, you also practice 4 hours a day on drums. That's a workout within itself. Um, because you staying active, and that makes the difference. For me, I have increased my exercise because where I work out at, like I say, it's an extreme workout. Um, the heat is between 125 to 130 degrees, which is good. At first, I started off doing 45 minutes. Well, I did 30 minutes first, then I went to 45, then I went to an hour. Now I'm up to an hour and a half per day. And since our vacation, I've only missed 3 days through the holidays. I only missed 3 days. I have been going regular, and I'm like, hey, I'm loving it. I'm gonna get up in the morning and go. I have a full day tomorrow, but I'm gonna get up in the morning and go from there. So, but I love it. So, go in there for about an hour and a half, and I may burn on the regular calories. Um, I may burn about 11 or 1200 calories just on the regular calories. But then my afterburn, I may burn another 5 to 700 calories. So in that hour and a half to, well, it come out to 2.5 hours because the afterburn is an hour, and so I may burn 15 to 1800 calories in 2 hours. So, which is always good. Radio say good for you. That's the smart way to do it. So that's what my goal is this year. Uh, Want to be speedo fine by the summertime. So hopefully we'll be able to be on a beach somewhere. Then I don't care if you see me or not. But hey, for the ones that just tuned in, um, y'all have been listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm Who You With Kurt Dog. You can catch us Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Um, Miss Risky is on the show with me on Thursday. She coming in with the history at the beginning of the show. Um, then we're gonna talk, do some real talk on Thursday. Maybe talking about what's going on in the world, or it may be just a conversation we may have. But you are always welcome to be a part of it, regardless of what platform you're on, regardless of your race, who you support, who you don't support. But one thing we will do on this show is keep it real with you. And you can always reach out to us, follow us on all social media, and I'm on Clubhouse. Um, so sometime I forget about I'm on Clubhouse, and I get into a room, be invited to talk, and then I get to talking, and I completely forget about I'm on Clubhouse. So, so definitely follow me on Clubhouse, and let's uh let's come together, do some big things in 2021. Um, you can catch us, like I said, every night, Thursday, Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. We have some great shows coming up. I'm setting up the calendar for our Monday artist session. Um, so I will be reaching out to all the artists that I have already spoken to that have interest in coming on and highlighting their work. So we're gonna be doing that. If you are a artist, regardless of what, well, I don't want to say that. Most artists is welcome, but if you saying you got an artist of uh, where you only broadcast on OnlyFans, unfortunately, that's not the platform for you. But as for music, if you're putting out good, positive music, you are welcome to come on the show to highlight your music. Just shoot me an email, who you with kurtdog at mail.com, who you with kurtdog at mail.com. Or you can send me hit me in the DM. Hit me in the DM because if you ever call into the show, please do not block your number. I won't answer. I get too many spam calls already. So, but definitely stay in contact with us. Like, share, tell a friend, regardless of what platform you're on tonight. Facebook is having issues, so um, most of our people from Facebook, I will repost the show on Facebook, but for some reason it's not working on Facebook. We're unable to go live. So, but other than that, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Um, we will talk tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Thursday night, I have an announcement, so we will talk about that on Thursday. So, so definitely follow us, radio. I appreciate you, Gabe, and everyone else that is listening. I can see you on the page, can't see your name, but hey, I appreciate you for tuning in. Definitely tell a friend, let them know that we are live. And we will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Until then, I love each and every one of you.